All right, yeah, are we good to go?
We're good to go.
Yeah, that's us, man.
And that's us then. When we're back, at the back, you already know it's a podcast with the highest level of analysis that the culture needs.
And as you know, like,
as you already know,
at this point,
if you've listened to this point, if you've made it to the end of it, the thing is there, Dej, we've been dropping gospels for them months. We've been dropping bars after bars.
You know what's pissing me off here? We're dropping such great content, and we're actually underappreciated.
Bro, do you know what? It'll take one clip. One clip will happen once we start to get the clips flowing. Don't worry, consistency. Because what we do, we know we do it at the highest level of analysis that the culture needs. As you can see, the boy Dave is not here, obviously,
unfortunately,
because man has started a new job. If you've listened to the last episode, capitalism has taken him over. So
bro, man.
He's joined the gang.
That last episode, yeah, I was just thinking about it. Capitalism, whoever made that shit is.
They've taught everything true. They've taught everything true. You're stuck.
Look, we're gonna have the exact same episode.
We're not gonna have the same episode again. What they've taught me? How you, bro? How you, man?
Yeah, bro, I'm good, man.
I see the trim though. You're killing it though.
Look, man. No, shout out to my guy Izzy the barber and that.
Bro, I've spent the last week sick. Like I went into work on Monday. Not last week, actually. Today is my first day back into work. It's Wednesday. We're recording on Wednesday. I actually went in on Monday.
Yeah.
I started doing work and my body said, nah.
Was it the vid?
No, I'm fine. It was just exhaustion and fatigue because obviously planning a wedding, trying to find a place to live, going to viewings, going to work, going to the gym.
How you guys are doing all of this simultaneously is not the one.
Yeah.
Like, and that shit's coming up quick as well.
Oh, it's this day next month. For the trad, right. I have to text people. I'm like, yo, pattern off here, especially my groomsmen, because men, they'll be like lackadaisical about it. Like, yeah, I was like, pattern up. I say you have to get your shit sewn because, like, obviously they're doing anchor and whatever.
And so it's in Navan as well, yeah.
It's in Duleek actually.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna get someone to drive me, bro. I'm getting smashed.
Yeah. So I have to text man. It's coming up quick. So sickness, but in sickness, I was like. It wasn't even real sickness. It was just I needed time off. I needed to just do nothing for a minute. That happens
sometimes though.
Yeah. It was just like I felt bad at work, but when I was laying down for those 2 days, I was like, and one of them.
Never feel bad at work, bro. never feel bad at work. Like, bro, take those.
Yeah.
Get a couple sick days that you get paid for. Make
7.
Sure.
I use mine. I think I've used 2, and I fully plan on using at least 3 more before the year's over.
Bro, I have 9 left. I'm using all 9 of them.
Yeah, like
it's by
they
force.
made the system. We're gonna use the system because they use the system to exploit us, isn't it?
And the thing is, like, there's always loopholes around the system, and they will use every loophole around the system. When it comes to watch when your payment is short. They'll start hitting you with
exactly. When it gets to November and I know we're getting off December basically for Christmas and I've used my sick days, a couple of sick days every here and there. Like November coming, I haven't used them yet.
My head hurts.
It's 2 days. Bro. Them ones you don't need a doctor's note before you go back to work.
Bro, fam, guy, I actually don't want to think how much I spent on doctor's notes.
Oh, fam. Some people say that 50 euros worth it. Some people say that 50 euros for a week off. Bro. I went to the doctors and he asked me how many days you want. He said, how many days you want me to put on this?
Yeah. Bro, do you know what I mean? My doctor, it got to a point where, like, I just called up my doctor, like, yo, what's called? I need a sick note. And he patterned the thing.
Yeah, because for him, whether you come in there or not, as long as you're paying him that 50 euros, isn't it?
But I'm telling you, I don't know how much I spent on sick notes, bro. Like, I spent easily.
But
I want to say probably upwards of $1,000.
Jeez, you're taking a piss. I'm actually thinking in my I was gonna say career, so I don't count as a career. In my work life,
you know what, I'm the same. I don't count my thing as a career.
This is not a career. This is a job.
Like it pays a lot more than a regular job. Like a retail job, whatever. But it might as well be a retail job too.
Yeah. Because I remember when people said call it a career job, and I was like, really? This is what you want to do for this your career? Like you were saying, like yesterday the week, it's a good asset to have. Yes, if you've patterned a job that pays you whatever pays you, it's like your greatest asset. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, nah, it's chilled with it.
Anyways, but yeah, back to you're at your job.
Yeah. So I was just kind of like feeling woozy in it. So I was like, nah, this ain't it. Driving home, those drive home when you're like half sleeping and you're trying to like try to take concentration and live. I got home and I thought it was the vid. Went to get tested. And then the test and the doctor just said it's just exhaustion and fatigue, and it kind of made me think it's like this year. It's like we're in August and I've been going ham since like January. Just not even working. Just COVID, everything, like mentally, the mental exhaustion of trying to plan it, my life, by the end of the year, I'm trying to be like at a certain place. So just caught up to me.
That's so crazy. H, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's what I inspire the youth. People do it.
Bro,
everybody
man.
get wifed, get cuffed. You too, Deji. You know, I don't know why you're still.
Don't worry about me.
I don't know why you're still wasting time in these streets.
Worry.
I'm gonna be that guy that gets married and everybody has to get married.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna be that guy.
What's good? You know what Jordan's gonna do as well? He's gonna show up to your wedding. He's gonna snap and he say, "I inspired you." He's like, first they attend, then they copy.
That's mad. I don't even think that was what I thought. I inspired the youth and first they attend, then they copy.
But yeah, man. But that's the thing though. Like,
that shit's not on your radar at the minute, is it?
No,
just
bro. Right now it's about getting the bag, bro.
Yeah, I understand. Not like I fully get it, because if I probably was at a different stage in my life, I tell everybody, because I'm in a group show like bare youths in it, and that was telling me like
it's so,
my youths. I mean,
so
like,
funny. You say youths, but they're probably like 21, 22 at this point.
Not even. They're like 24. Well, 24, and I tell them, I'm like, bro, date and figure shit out now. Like, don't look at me and be like, rah, Jordan is doing H&H. Do not do that. You're 23, 24. Do everything now. Not like, because it's to experience. It's probably better to know than before you do these things. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, what's called for me right now, and the place I'm in my life right now, I'm bored. So I'm trying to experience as much shit as possible.
Yes.
And something that actually drives me insane, like, especially in this COVID time, you know, your lifestyle when you're on holiday, that's somebody's everyday life, bro. Like, have you ever thought about this, right? So like, I started thinking about like different perspectives and different people and different like experiences, right? Like, our only experience is being a black man growing up in Dublin, Navan, whatever. Do you get what I'm saying? But there's someone that goes, okay, you know, let me put it this way. This is probably a better way to describe it. You know, when you're walking down O'Connell Street and you're walking past Aspire and everything, and you see all these tourists, that's an experience for them. That's holiday. And you're here every day.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, even when I go on holiday, and like, let's say we're going jet skiing or something, that person is here like 5 times a week.
Yeah.
Doing this exact same thing.
That's actually true, you know, because when I was going to Bali and like, I'm amazed of all these sightseeing they're showing me. This guy just like, I just experienced this daily. Just literally, one guy he went on a boat tour with us. He got off the boat, went into the water, went to get fish or whatever, got back in the boat. Another boat came, picked him up and went home.
Yeah, and that's his everyday life.
He knew where that boat is going to bring him. He knew where the next one is going to come.
How's man moving like the buses?
Literally, he had a plan, and I was watching it. I was like, I'm out here saying like, yeah, look at the blue waters, man. Then they tell you, oh, Leonardo DiCaprio filmed the movie there, and this guy just like, yeah.
This like literally, this is my everyday life. Even like, you know, like, it's just one of those things. Like, when we're in town, we walk past Aspire, but we're seeing people do, and we just look at them like, but the thing is, we do the exact same thing somewhere else.
When we go to Paris or something, we're at the Eiffel Tower doing this. Whereas some people, like, you ever see them people like, because they walk past the Eiffel Tower like to go to work. It's on their way to work,
it's just
so they associate like the Eiffel Tower as I'm going to work. So when they see it, and I always get that whenever I see it somewhere, like there's like a lake area where I work. It's a beautiful lake area, and people are like, "Oh, you should take your girl there." I was like, "Nah, I work here,
normal, like, and I work here.
I work here. If I come here and associate myself with work, that's actually mine, because that can alter, not like change your perspective of like someone's holiday. That's your everyday life. But we all do it.
Now there's that, right? Now imagine, this is a weird thing that my brain thinks of, right? The older I get, the more I realize there's certain things I can't do. Like, okay, not that I'm not one of you, man, that had a football career when they were younger. But,
and your knees got injured, and you couldn't.
My knee got injured, and then, like, you know, or my mom didn't let me go because I church.
You know, it pains me when girls troll men and say that. So, you could have been a footballer where your knee got injured. I was like, fuck you.
Like, I don't think they actually understand how painful that is. Like, from the point you're like, when, like, depending on how deep your family is into football and stuff like that, let's say probably like 4 or 5, you're supporting this team and you're thinking that you're going to become a footballer, and then you're going for the next 10 years or so. That's your goal in life. And then you actually can't get it. And I know that they make fun of us for it. But the thing is, it's genuine. Like,
some people, it's like that rejection that they had to face again and again. And they're reliving that. And I know it's all like Twitter's all jokes.
Yeah, obviously.
For some
but
people.
the thing is, people don't realize how like traumatizing it is. Like some of the man them I've talked to, and it's like, nah, the day that I actually realized that I wasn't good enough to make it. Like, one of my boys, he went for trials. And he got to he was one of the last people caught. So the next stage is there, and then he got caught, and then that realization of like, bro, I'm actually not good enough.
Have you ever had, we'll go back to your story, have you ever had that kind of experience where you realized that at a moment that something wasn't for you, and you remember what that moment felt? Because obviously I was football mad, and there was always a moment that I think I realized, like, I think I was like 16, and I saw these boys go to like Celtic and Rangers and my teammates, and I just looked around, I was like,
you know what, maybe the same for me.
and that moment, it's like, have you ever had something and you're like, and because some people will push through it, some people will be like, fuck it, I'm gonna push through and I'm gonna find the next way to go through. But a lot, like me, for example, I was kind of like, I guess I'll read these books.
I think anything. So. You know what? I think it might have been dancing, like, because I used to proper dance before, right? But then there were some people that just do some things, and I'm just looking at it, and I actually just realized in that moment, like, yeah, cool, like I might be better than the average, but I'm not that. Do you get what I'm saying? I think one of the things that probably, because I know wrestlers talk about it a lot, but like all those MMA fighters and stuff like that, when you're being mauled on the floor and you're realizing that you actually can't do anything, I feel like that's what the feeling is. You're like, I thought I was good, but
it's humbling. Israel Adesanya says he says people call him cocky, but he's been humbled. He says when he's at the gym and Dan Hooker is on top of him and he can't move, he's like, okay, this is a humbling moment. I think that's the word. It's like, it is a humbling moment that a lot of people, maybe they have this background of the support group that get them to push on. Like you might have a parent or an uncle be like, that's just rejection, blah, 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 blah. And then they push on. A lot of people might be that inner drive, because there's a guy, Michel Antonio, he did an interview, a poet. He says his parents never knew about his football career until they show up to a West Ham game. He was in the Premier League.
I
and then they start shouting, chanting their second name. And I'm like, so that's when your parents believed that you made it.
Nah, you know what? Even forget about like your support group. Even if you have the biggest, the best support group out there, there's a moment where you're trying to do something. Like, okay, right? Like with football's always the best. You could be the guy from your city. You're the baddest. You're bad in every step overs, not makes for fun. Then you go to where everyone is the baddest from their league. Everyone is the baddest from the area. And now you realize that you're the worst person there.
Yeah, and that's the analogy for that is like sports. It's like someone said, when you get to the NBA, everybody's talented. There's only 450 people. So no matter how good you were in college, when you get to the league, they were all in college and they were all ballers.
Exactly.
And so what separates people then is the mentality and the work ethic. That's what will separate you, because this is a league full of, look, he was the first pick, he was a top 10 pick, he was a top 5 pick.
Exactly.
So you're in a league, you're amongst the best of the best of the last 10, 15 years. They're all here. And so you gotta now exist within them. But
anyways, so
you're telling the story,
back to what I was saying. Like, so the older I get, sometimes I'm just like, rah, okay, I'm now past the age where, okay, I can't be a footballer anymore. Becoming like a professional fighter could happen, but it's long. I can't become a Formula 1 driver anymore. Like, just different things where I'm like, rah, that's a life that I'll actually never experience. You get what I'm saying?
Do you know that's why people have midlife crisis, but I'll let you keep going.
Yeah, it probably is a midlife crisis.
No, it's why people have midlife crisis, because they realize this is all they're going to be. So they try to chase something, whether it be like a fast car or a hot young woman, because that realization is like, I know that's not what you're saying per se, like, but you've reached a perspective in life that like, there's certain things I'm never going to be, or very unlikely going to be. And some people, they're like, fuck, I'm 40 and is this all that's going to be of me? Then they do. It's an example of how people get to midlife crisis.
Exactly. You get what I'm saying? Or it's like, whoa, I'm 40, haven't achieved anything. Like, forget about 40. Niggas are doing this at 22.
Exactly.
Haven't achieved anything. I don't have a degree. Blah, 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 blah. And then they start freaking out. But yeah, like, so, like, can you, like, for the likes of Rio Ferdinand, right? He went out in front of hundreds of thousands of people and played ball. Do you get what I'm saying? And when they're talking about like you don't even hear the crowd, you're just so focused in something like that. That's the experience that I will never have, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? Well, unless I'm playing like fucking.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like, do you get what I'm saying? But that's something that I'll never experience. And like the older I'm getting, it's like more of those things are coming, and it's just like something that bothered me for a while is the fact that I want to experience it all, but it's literally impossible. I actually want to know what it feels like to be a fucking billionaire. You wake up, you fly to Paris tomorrow, you fly to, I don't have that right now. Do you get what I'm saying? I actually want to know what it feels like to just be a white man. Not because I want
to be a white man, just to experience.
That, bro, so this is how you see life.
Yeah. You might like that perspective of, I think when just speaking of a white man, I think Schultz used to do his 5 minutes clips, and he says even as a white man, when a cop kill a black person, they were like, okay, what did the black person do? Because to a white man, they've never had a negative interaction with the police officer. Bro. So for them to comprehend that a police officer can just kill you in their world, they don't see it. So that's why they're kind of like, but what did he do? Because I'm like, so I was like, oh right, that's the perspective white people have. And I hear you, because I get to like, I have those thoughts. I'm like, right, there's certain things in life that's just never gonna happen for me, and I'm never gonna experience it. And I don't know what it, like. I think it's just, maybe it's a human thing that we want to be. We all can't be like, for example, God bless the dead Kobe Bryant, who experienced life as a basketball player, probably had 2 Hall of Fame careers in one basketball player, finished playing basketball, wrote a story, won an Oscar all before he was 40. He lived like 3 lives.
Exactly.
3 lives.
You know what I'm saying?
In 40 years. And that's like the one top. He's like a special human being. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking Kobe Bryant. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it's just one of those things, like even with Kobe living 3 different lives, part of me will still be like, what about that 4th though? Do you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I think it's because my curiosity level is so high that I want to know what things feel like. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I actually want to know what it feels like to play at Old Trafford, Champions League final. Do you get what I'm saying?
And that's just in regards to anything. You just want to,
bro, just things that pique my interest. But then obviously I have to humble myself and realize that, bro, you got one life. There's only so many things you can do. Yeah. So within my life, I'm bored. I want to experience just as many things as I possibly can.
I think I was listening to maybe Logan Paul. He was saying this to KSI. That's how you know I've quoted so many podcast shows. So I think he was saying it's like, because KSI is trying to do music now and he can't do boxing. And he was saying sometimes when people dabble in so many things, they don't remember for being great at any of the things. Whereas when I say Muhammad Ali, you know immediately what I'm talking about. You just know he was a great boxer because he put all his focus on boxing. And people like Muhammad Ali, the drive and the mentality they have, they could have put that into a lot of different things and been successful and been great. But sometimes, like KSI tried to do PlayStation, like he was a gamer, he did boxing, he's doing music. Maybe he might not be remembered as like, oh, what did KSI do? Maybe he might just go under entertainer. But some of the greats, it's like, when you think of Michael Jordan, it's like basketball, Lionel Messi, because they use their one life to own greatness into one thing.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But
that's how you work.
That just goes back to the whole legacy conversation we had.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. It's great that my name is regarded highly in this situation. But
what made
like KSI is probably a millionaire.
And I get it. And what's to say KSI isn't as happy as Ronaldo doing various multiple things.
And also KSI he's probably in this place in his life where it's like, I can actually do whatever I want to do. A lot of these footballers and stuff, not saying Ronaldo because that guy potential through the roof, but they finish the one thing that they laser focused in. Bro, that thing is gonna end. Everything comes to an end. That's when you start going through these guys that will end up smoking crack in the back. Also, I've made a decision when I'm like 80, I'm gonna smoke crack.
I remember I used to date one Oyibo girl and her dad said that she gave up smoking and he says, when the girls are old enough and they all move out, he's gonna do everything. So
you know what it is? Have you heard the way crackheads talk about crack? Bro.
I watched Snowfall, yeah. I was looking like, there's a reason this was an epidemic. There's a reason.
Like, what's called?
This shit must have been good.
I was listening to Three Shots and they played this clip and it's like the guy was talking about this girl. The girl got him into crack, innit? And he's like, that first weekend that they tried it, he spent a couple bags and like within a couple months, he like all of his life savings gone on crack.
Jesus Christ!
I say this to say that when I'm close to the end of my life, like this shit's ending soon. Anyways,
you might as well.
Like I can't fuck up my life. I've lived it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I get you.
So it's like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, but you're on the point of like curiosity, Ronaldo.
Yeah, but yeah, so it's like one of those situations where, and also I feel like in like Jordan's era and stuff like that, the internet now gives us the power to do so many different
to be
things.
Great and different things.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How many people do we see that are so many different things?
Like look at the Logan brothers. Started as YouTubers, now they're boxing against UFC fighters.
Like
and Mayweather.
Professional fighters.
Like what the fuck?
Like what's called, like when you think about it, people would be like, if you had said this was gonna happen 20 years ago, someone would look at you like you're an idiot.
Yeah. Society finds a way to create jobs. Society finds a way. Like, there's no way that we could have told our parents we want to be YouTubers and gamers and it would have been a serious career prospect. But at the time, maybe it would have been, but the vision that you're going to make millions like KSI and all these people do wasn't there.
Yeah, but I think the thing that comes from
podcasting wasn't 10, 15 years ago, but we knew the Spotify exclusives would pop up like this.
But that's because we now have, it's just technology just going forward. You get what I'm saying? Like the more technology progresses, the more like, right. So back when we didn't have that much technology and shit like that, like even take it back before technology and like electricity and all that was proper a thing. Cool, we don't have electricity. So if you want light, you better go get candles. You better have what's called water in the house. You better have everything there. Do you get what I'm saying? Now we have like, okay, I don't have to worry about the candles. I'm kind of bored. What else can I do? Now we have, do you get what I'm saying? And then it just kind of keeps progressing and
Innovation
progressing and progressing.
Just keeps happening.
And it's just like,
I don't know where it stops. So I obviously probably going to innovate again, but where we are now in terms of like the internet and technology and content creating, it went to a stage where the content creating, we're doing long format, but I think what's really pops quick is a short format. The 1 minute TikToks, the Vines, and all of those things.
6 seconds.
6 seconds. So that kind of, but that's why you have to give people like King Batch credit. In 6 seconds, he packed so much that people were like, fair play to this guy.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, everybody has their thing. Even what's that guy that's on TikTok that has over 1 million followers?
Yeah, the guy that said nothing.
He has literally said nothing.
He says 100 million, not even 1 million.
Sorry,
100 million followers. And all he does is point like this.
So in this life, anybody like that's the thing. There's money in this place, man.
So that's what I mean. Sometimes I think too hard about getting rich.
But that's the thing. It's like sometimes it's like you just gotta do shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it sounds weird, but like he started from one day just going.
Yeah.
I know for a lot of people, I know for me especially, sometimes I'm kind of like, I'll have it recorded. I have the whole idea done, ready in my head, and I'm like, does anyone care?
Yeah,
no. No.
You said that about tweeting as well. You just think because it's like you'll think of a tweet, you'll write it out, you'll be like,
shit's fire as well.
Nobody needs to see
cares.
this,
bro. Even what's it called? Recently enough, with the whole Chip and Stormzy beef and when the whole clash came out and everything like that, I had like in my head, I was like, oh, that's a great Instagram story right there. Like just talking about how Chip said this, even gonna post like videos from, I even went as far as I clipped the piece of the interview that I was going to use and everything, and then I was going to do it because I was going to do it while I was driving, and then I just didn't. But I just didn't, bro.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
But someone goes that extra yard and he does it, and then you'll see it and you're like, this guy I was gonna okay.
I was gonna do that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it just, I guess.
Do you think it's because sometimes we're too shameful? You think being shameless is the way? I think I was saying this to my boys. 100%. I'm like, being shameless will get you far. Like you just gotta drop your shame sometimes.
Be having shame, yeah. You know what it is? I feel like, especially growing up in Ireland, the things that they teach you is actually not right. They teach you to stand in line. They teach you to, you know what I'm saying?
Society, yeah.
Because, okay, think about it, right? This whole thing of being modest. Modesty ain't got nobody anywhere. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, so you're telling me I need to be modest, number one. You're telling me that I shouldn't say too many things out there. I should have shame. Like, don't you have shame? Aren't you embarrassed? Kind of a situation. But if you actually think about it, all of the greatest personalities and stuff like that, like let's say Cardi B, right? she doesn't have shame.
Shameless.
So she just goes and says what she wants, and because she does that and she's authentically that,
I think that's the key word.
People the
key word is authenticity, and I think what you're saying about staying in line is and be modest. It's because humans in general are uncomfortable with seeing someone with such self-belief in themselves because they can't have that. So they're portraying their own insecurities. So if you're someone like Floyd Mayweather, you're saying I'm the best ever. It's rubbing people the wrong way, and because they cannot see themselves as like the best ever. So how dare you say that? Especially being like, I don't want to make it racial, but especially it rubs like Conor McGregor would do it, and he's entertaining. People love Conor McGregor. Floyd would do the exact same thing: flash his money, flash his car, call himself the best, and he's a heel. And hey, regardless, they get paid.
Get that
that's all that matters. But it's just that perspective. It's like, oh, so someone with like even Michael Jordan, you'd be like, they asked him in the Jordan documentary, they say, who takes the last shot, you, Magic, or Bird? He says, me. Like, what are you even asking? It's me. It's always gonna be me. Why are you asking this question? So some people are uncomfortable with that because they can't see themselves as that in this world. You know what I mean?
You know what it is, yeah? There's been a couple of times where there's been moments in my life where I've been in like the peak of my confidence. Do you get what I'm saying? And like,
when do you think we were in the peak of your confidence?
I don't know. Maybe like 2021.
I think I'm only in the peak, like my peak confidence now.
You know what? Be mad honest with you. Life's been beating a nigga, man. So, but however, man's getting back on the grind now. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's it.
But anyway, so like, I just started the job concerned. I was working on the street. Actually, I think I was even 19. I was working on the street, and I was the fresh guy, whatever. And I was talking to the manager and everything, and they're just like, "Oh, tell me about, just tell me about yourself." I was like, "Yeah, man, I was doing this. Oh, I was actually working in a pawn shop before, like, you know, you come in like one of those CX kind of shops." And I was like, "Oh, I actually sold the most expensive thing in the shop, like a camera for like over $1,000." And I was like, "Yeah, I sold it," and blah blah. And the consensus after that was that I was cocky.
Okay.
And I was like, I'm not cocky. I'm telling you what I've done. You asked me about me. I'm telling you about me, but I'm cocky.
Because if that was them, a lot of things is like people projecting. Bro. Because if that was them, that's how you would behave. So you think that's how I'm behaving. But
exactly.
I'm not behaving that way.
I'm like, I wasn't bragging about it. I wasn't doing anything. I was like, I was like, oh yeah, actually, I sold the most expensive thing in the shop in it. And like, oh yeah, like, oh, how many people are you gonna sign up today? I'm gonna go for 3. I'm gonna go for 4. Bro, it's your first day, bro. Fam, first day I banged 1. I was like, all right, cool. Next day I banged 1 too. I was like, this guy's good.
But it is like just that confidence. It's when you have that confidence and that mentality, you go there with the actual purpose. Just because if you're already shy, and the thing about people sometimes is like we can have sense energy of people and we can sense authenticity. That's why I said it's very important. Because a lot of things that people are successful at long term is authenticity. Because I always say like Cardi B might not be the best rapper, but her run has probably exceeded her talent in rapping because she's real. As real as possible. She's authentic.
Forget about the run.
Yeah.
Cardi's journey is purely off of pure authenticity.
Yes.
Because you don't go from the strip club to loving hip hop to actually having a legitimate career. How many people have we seen on Love and Hip Hop? What's this one? Jocelyn.
I don't even know what that is. I don't even know
how many songs you niggas know what I'm talking about. how many songs does Jocelyn, like how many years have these people been on Love and Hip Hop and shit like that, and they're making me, you always see them in the studio.
Usually Love and Hip Hop is like the reverse. Your career is winding down, like Young Jock, Jules Santana.
No, those are the ones that you know about.
But
then there's other people where it's like, oh, you're an interesting character, you have got some money, and then
they promote you, and then they call you industry plant.
but you know what I'm saying? It's just like I don't know. People just have a thing against confidence.
I'm telling you, it's because we feel like we can't. Like, how dare Conor McGregor say he's gonna knock out Jose Aldo in 10 seconds? Who are you?
As well as that, Irish people especially have such a demoralizing culture.
What you mean?
Like, if you listen to their words and what they say, right? If you're a person that takes words very seriously, I could never do that. Like, they're always beating down on themselves all the time. Like, it's like, I could never do that. I'm stupid. Do you get what I'm saying? And they're always beating down on themselves, bro. Listen to it sometimes, even when you're at work. These guys are proper, like, always beating themselves down, and it's like, that's not the way to be, bro.
I guess so. And then over time, your confidence just started to diminish, and as life started to just beat you, like beat you up, kind of thing.
Life will beat you to a pulp, bro. But
no, life will humble you. That's one thing I say about life. Like whoever you are, and no matter, like you think things, life definitely is a humbling experience. And just when you're at best, your peak, something happened. It's like the thing I saw about having a car. Just even on a small scale, you have a car. It's grand. One day you're fixed. The next day it's costing you $700 to fix it. That's just humbling itself. You did nothing wrong that day. You didn't even annoy anybody. Now you're paying €700 to fix a car just because life is lifing. You're like, who asked for this?
And the thing is, right? Like, bro, life. You know what? Life is just funny, bro. Like people that would say it can never be me, and I'm like,
bro,
fam. I make sure those words don't leave my mouth, because if you say those words, life will come.
Niggas be like, not my girl wouldn't. Would she not?
What?
Would she not? Or she's never been given a situation too.
Or you just don't know about it.
Someone tweeted that. It says everybody with a girl has cheated on you, you either know or you don't know.
Yeah, that's why even when they ask me, yo, Dej, have you been cheated on before? Not that I know of.
Do you think you have though?
No, but I don't know if that's ego.
Yeah, I'm the same.
A man's ego would never allow you to say that. Yeah, I think this girl cheated on me.
I don't want to bait anybody, but think in retrospect, I might have been.
Oh, no.
The turnaround was too quick.
When you look back at it like that, do you know what I'm saying? But
in retrospect, I'm not saying because I actually don't know the truth, but
yeah,
in my mind, I'm like, maybe you know
that makes sense.
Yeah,
like maybe you got into a relationship 2 weeks after we broke up.
I was like, what's this nigga? Yo,
it's like it took me. First of all, it took me a month to bag you. Number one, number two, I know what you're like. And even let me even give you the benefit of the doubt that he's saucy and that, and like, you know, he's got something that I don't got.
See, a lot of guys wouldn't put themselves into this thought process, because there's definitely those girls that's cheated, but I've never met a guy that said like he's been cheated on.
bro, and you know, but then again, you know what it is? It's just not our reality.
What you mean?
Like, I always say women have this, like, women genuinely think we're horrible people. Like, they think that we're dogs and shit, which is cool. But because they think that, they're expecting the worst from us. Whereas we're in the reverse. Niggas, do you know how many people I know that underestimate their girl?
Yeah, that's true.
Do you know, like, I have had friends and I have friends and whatever that I've heard the way someone is talking about them, and I'm like, you just don't think that she's on what she's on because you have a pedestal and you think she's angelic and she's holy and she's clean and all this nonsense, bro. Trust me,
she can be on crud.
She can go there. You get what I'm saying? So that's one thing as well. Me, I've decided in my life, if someone tells me something about themselves, I don't know you from Adam. Even if I know you from Adam, I believe you. Because do you know how many girls how many men that a girl probably like, oh, you know what, I did this, I can never be my girl, leave me, man.
Well, what do you think that is though? Do you think it's just they rather not believe her, or their ego is not allowing them to believe that they could get cheated on?
I think it's that, and also just the fact that I feel like a lot of guys do have their girls on a pedestal. They do think that their girl is this angelic thing that
can do no wrong. And
like,
why is it that we put them on a pedestal? I think it's because we put them on a pedestal is because we're nurtured, especially like a lot of boys, because they're nurtured by their moms or they're nurtured by women. So they put the woman that they love on a pedestal because that's the pedestal they would have. Because like you were having a conversation the other day, a guy would nut on a girl's face but not his wife because he has his wife on that pedestal, whereas this girl, he doesn't put her on that pedestal, so he feels okay doing it. So that just shows you once he loves a girl, he puts her on a certain pedestal not to do certain things with her, which is cool. So
but he also thinks that she's not capable of doing those certain things,
and because of that love. And I think that's why love can be such like a fucked up thing, because I think Taser was saying, it's like, I know you, Dej, and I know what you're like. Say for example, if I knew you and knew what you're like, and I'm like, nah, Dej wouldn't have that. But now because of love, we all, like you were saying, we all accept things that I'm like, bro, why are you having this? This isn't you. Bro, but because of love, now you're accepting things that you wouldn't accept.
And you're in love.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is.
It reminds you of, like, you'll see those guys when you're young and their girl is like stressing them or doing like the most in the shop, or they're picking out everything, and the guy's just chilled back and laid back because he knows it's like, it's because you'll be like, you pussy, you stand up to her, and I'm getting older, and sometimes I'm just like, This is the loudest.
It's so weird. Like obviously same for women as well. But the older you grow as men, the more you just start understanding men and just the stupid shit that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, that makes sense why you're quiet. That makes sense. That makes sense why you said happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. Because you just knew that whatever this next step or whatever this is gonna be. Mm-hmm. First of all, you're probably not gonna care in 2 minutes, mm-hmm. and if you blow this out of proportion, they can keep the vim going for longer than we can.
Bro, that's
men should remember that part. You can be over something, but their vim it's gonna keep going. Bro. So you're better off just saying, man.
Do you know how many times I'm like, I could take this day. I could. But you're gonna be angry for longer than I am. And I'm just like, am I really ready to fight?
For this topic and for this long.
Nope.
It's
nope. And you know, my answer is always no.
Yeah, because their emotional capabilities are just greater than ours. I think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I just think in terms of like not emotional capabilities, but sometimes when they are, let's say it's a situation that's happening in our scenario, mm-hmm. we maybe want to brush it off quick because maybe a match is on at 6 o'clock. We just don't want to deal with it.
I just can't stay angry. Sometimes I just can't stay angry.
But they seem like they can.
Yeah, no. Women can hold grudges forever.
Stop it!
Like it's
stop
like,
that shit.
And I don't know why, bro. I'm just like, you're still angry about that shit from 3 years ago. Or you know what women do as well sometimes, yeah. We always end up just ranting about women. You know what women do sometimes as well. That I'm just kind of like, they'll peep something, yeah, mm-hmm. and they'll leave it, and they just won't address it, but they're still mad. And then a year later, that's why you. A year? I can't remember what happened.
That shit, they'll catch you off guard. You have no defense because they had this. That's the shit. They'll have an argument. Yeah, they have the argument planned, and you're just finding out about the argument now. You're like, what? Okay, I know that. I wasn't
even prepared. Like, okay, give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back. You have to go think about all the times that she messed up.
They said before you have this, we need to talk. You need to tell me what we need to talk about, so I can come with my own points. So when we come to the table, I know what I'm saying. Because you're saying we need to talk. I'm going there completely blindsided, and you're talking, and I'm like, what? I didn't know this topic was coming. Bro. And then like 5 minutes later, I'm like, man, if I was prepared for this conversation, I could have had this point.
The worst thing about it as well is after it's over. Oh yeah, I should have said that. Oh man. I hate that. I should have said that shit.
My one is like after it's over and you've like acted how you acted and you lashed out or whatever, and you're like, fuck, I could have been calmer and said this, but it's too late now because now you're the villain.
You pull the bullet. You pull the trigger too quickly.
You're the villain. It's over now. Now they can't say anything. So I saw something on the timeline today. I think
I was even trying to log into my TikTok because I saw something else as well. But yeah, continue.
No, yeah. So Marriott was saying about how if his girl wanted to. Don't look at me like that.
He's a wild boy.
He's a wild boy. Some people like he's just there's a level of security that you have, or maybe he's not insecure that he knows it's just a good time with his girl. Like he's willing to give her a good time, but he says with someone I trust. Could you do that?
No.
Could you get to that level of security and maturity and be like, this is just fun?
I'm not built that way. You know what it is, yeah. Mm-hmm. Not to sound too like crazy or anything, but like. I don't like to share. Number one, I'm also mad possessive. Not like oh my god, you're talking to a boy, I'm gonna kill you. But like, if that's mine, that's mine. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's mine, isn't it? So like, yeah, nah, man, it's not happening.
Because I was trying to think about his way of thinking. I was like, I guess you can't. What we do as people is sometimes we put our standard of living on other people. Like you're saying, you're not built that way. So I'm like, what's the benefit of get one of your boys? This is not just a link because the tweet said, if my girl wanted to have
if it was a link, I would understand it.
Yeah, if it was a link and he says, if my girl wanted to have a threesome, I'm going to call one of my boys. I was kind of, then it made me think, I was like, because I remember we had Felicia on the podcast to talk about open relationships ages ago, and she was talking about how it's just about security and people don't know how to separate sex as a fun time and us as part of the relationship. We tie the two together, and that being said, I'm like, can you really untie? Because if you're that intimate with someone and you're like having bareback raw sex and you're kissing, all of this period of time. For me, anyways, it's not as easy. That's why situationships get sticky. It's not as easy to just say, "Oh, this is just a fun time." Do you get what I'm saying?
But that's the thing. That's just because, once again, perspective. That's how you see sex.
Yeah,
do you get what I'm saying? Like some people, sex is literally just an act of just sex, isn't it? It's just like, oh, let's go have sex. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, okay, like once again, another thing that I thought about is like there's someone out there right now recording two people having sex right in front of them. Like, think about that. Like, when's the last time you saw two people having sex right in front of you?
I don't think I've ever, even my life, right in front of me.
Do you get what I'm saying? But some people, they would walk into a room and there two people fucking there, and it's normal.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, oh, whatever. You probably you double take. For some people, they wouldn't even double take.
If you're single and your boy asks you,
oh yeah, I'm doing that shit. What? What is she ain't my girl?
I remember that actually when I was way younger, like 16, 17, and there was a guys I went to school with, Oyimbos, in it. So one of them had a girlfriend. They went camping with her other friend. He had a fantasy of having a threesome where his missus were his best friend.
If I'm the best friend, I'm doing it.
Like, I was like, then I remember hearing about it from like one of her other friends, because her mate was, the girl's mate was like one of my mates in school, innit? She was saying, oh, do you know this one? She went and she had a threesome with her boyfriend and her best friend. All three. Right, think of this, like 17-year-old Jordan.
My jaw drops.
This is I'm just thinking, I'm like, white people are different. I don't even, I'm like, that I couldn't understand. Why did he want to have a threesome with another boy?
Bro.
I'm like, that's like, she had the threesome. You took part in her threesome. She
had a good ass time. But that's the thing. Like, that's where things like hot wifing comes out. So hot wifing is when, you know what hot wifing is?
Yeah, explain it to maybe some people don't know.
Hot wifing is pretty much when some certain man let their wife go out, like seeing their wife getting fucked by other man.
What do you think what do you think is the pleasure of that? Do you think it's because you like her being desirable to next man's? Is that like, I was thinking about it. I
like my girl being desirable to next man, but not fucking no.
Because when I heard about hot wifing, I went to look in it. I actually went to watch, and just curiosity. I'm like, oh, these guys get turned on by her being pleasured because it makes them feel like the guy that wants them makes them want them more. Do you know what I mean?
Well, look, it's just, wait, hold on. I came across the most, bro. There's very few things in this life that shock me, right? Trigger warning for you, man. Rape. So I came across a Reddit
thread.
No, a whole like page.
Okay. Yeah.
Or a subreddit. That's what they're called. I came across a subreddit the other day, right? Don't ask me how I got here. Actually, no. I'll actually tell you how I got here. So I got really into rap, battle rap.
Oh yeah, we walked into your house and you were watching that the other day.
Yeah. So I'm really into battle rap now, whatever. And Reddit is where I can find the links to go watch the battles for free, right? So one of the places, Rap Battle Tube and whatever. So one of the subreddits is that. So I went up and I typed in RAP, and then I looked down and not sober for work. I was like, let me see what this is, and it was like rape fantasies. So a lot of people that having rape fantasies are in there. So I clicked thing. Now my curiosity is, bro,
you're here now. Let's watch this.
Nah, I was like, this is a side of the internet that I don't need to be in, bro. I was seeing stuff like one girl was like, oh, getting fucked in the same bed that I was raped in. It's just, it's doing it for me. Or it's like another girl was like, yeah, look, I'm open, whatever. DM me for my address. Just come in and do your and even the comments underneath, yeah, what's called that raping her will be so this get my, and I was just like,
Christ.
I was like, this is crazy.
I actually had a talk about this with I can't remember who it was. It was a girl, and she was like, what it does for them is, for example, we said trigger warning, innit?
Yeah, trigger warning. Yeah.
Okay. What it does for them is, if they were victims, like to do it in the same bed that happened is, they take that power back.
No, I
so in the I don't get men that want to like participate in that, because but I get from their perspective what it does. It must be still something maybe therapeutic or something that they want to get back.
See, the thing is, there's consensual, non-consensual sex, which makes no sense, but it makes sense. So people, some like people will have a thing where it's like, look, I'm giving you consent. You don't have to tell me when, don't have to tell me where, but you have my consent in it. So the guy would come in and just do whatever, whenever kind of a situation. And obviously between them it's cool. But the thing is, I think for some people it is about relinquishing power. Like, I think it's the same thing with the whole dominatrix stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? And like,
I try to watch some of that shit. Like, goes that shit is just so funny to me. That shit.
Bro,
I just watched this guy in a full costume with his cock out, and I just like
one breathing hole like here.
Yeah. I was like, what does this do for you? And I even went to watch a different topic called Cuck Talk. Cuck Talk is like you
Just
go
cock
fuck
talk it.
someone else. And you come back, and as like the woman comes back, and you're fucking her as she's giving you details as how the other guy fucked her. So he's she's like, yeah, he bent me over and he was pulling my hair. He was fucking me harder than you were fucking me. You never fucked me like this before. I'm like, what does that do? I was curious, but so these things.
This is the thing, yeah. So apparently, a lot of very high power men, when they go out into the world, they have so much power and everything. So when they get home, they want to be in a situation where they don't have any power. So that's where like the dominatrix and stuff, all of that kind of stuff comes out. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why they would need someone to come and dominate them. Or like those like pay pigs, bro, man.
Yeah,
you're paying somebody to like just say, like, I was listening to Timothy, what's called one podcast anyways, yeah. And this stripper was on and she was talking about like, yeah, so there was this man, he came in, he had a dom in it. So pretty much what the dom said was like, go into the strip club, pick a girl. No, the dom picked the girl. That girl, I want you to tell her to spit in a cup and you're gonna take it as a shot.
Oh my God.
Like stuff like that is like stuff that happens. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, humiliation fans are real. I remember I was young watching Entourage, ages like very young, and this girl wanted the guy to dress as a bunny, and she was dressing as a bunny. And obviously at that age, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Then I get older, listen to podcasts alone, and I remember listening to a girl, Emily, she came on me, it was after 7. She was talking about how she like hot wifing and she couldn't do it, and she sent her husband like, okay, you go fuck him, then come back and tell me the details, and I want to fuck you as you're telling me the details. I'm like, this can't be real. Yeah, I went to look at Cuck Talk and I was like, oh shit, this is a thing.
I was even listening to Three Shots, and they had one woman on. Was it Three Shots? Anyways, I was listening to one podcast and they had one woman on, and she was talking about how her husband or her ex-husband or whatever, he wanted to do that. She was like, I'm not too comfortable.
That's the same woman. Oh,
Emily. Yeah, she was on
Emily. That's it. She was on Three Shots. Emily was on 7.
Yeah, and it's just like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like
you could see that their minds couldn't comprehend. Like Marvin and Taze, their minds could just like, what is going on?
Yeah, but and you know what it is though. Like even to take it back to open relationships and stuff like that, right? With that open relationship stuff, I feel like it's one of those things you're either built for or you're not built for. Because the thing is, when it was explained to me, it makes sense. Like it's almost like it's one of those situations where, all right, if you're a person that like if you're like almost like an outgoing person and a flirty person, right? When you get into a relationship, a monogamous relationship, you have to cut that off. Do you know what I'm saying? You can't now be going out and flirting with everything like you used to. Do you get what I'm saying? So you have to cut that part of you off. But imagine if that part of you is a big part of you.
That's the show we're talking about, sex life. Yeah.
So
she tried to cut that off and she couldn't.
But that part of you is a big part of you. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm not even talking about like having sex or going all the way. It's just one of those things where, like, so you have to cut that part of you off. But if you're in an open situation, like I feel like when people hear open relationships and like polyamorous relationships and stuff like that, they just think you're just going out fucking everything. But it's not even like that. And people think, oh, you can't be jealous. It's not even like that. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just having the freedom to just exist.
Let people be who they are, and sometimes the best way to exist within relationships or any relationship is to just let people be them, because then they'll have the freedom around you to be who they are, to create, and they're not oppressing their true nature. And sometimes, like you're saying, in relationships, we all take the benefits that come with a relationship, knowing that there's certain part of us that we're gonna have to oppress. Like there's certain things that you might have enjoyed doing, and you're like, okay, because I'm gonna be in a relationship,
I can't do that.
No matter how much I enjoy doing it, I that's a sacrifice you take. But what people in an open relationship have found, shout out to Felicia because she like opened my mind to this. So what people in an open relationship has found is like to let people see who they want, be who they are, and behave how they want. And as long as you talk about it and you are open and honest about it, it can be fully acceptable. But obviously you and I don't operate that way. We don't mind giving up some of the benefits or the liberties that will come with being a single person if we're like, okay, I might not have that, but I'll have you, and having you is better than having all of that.
Exactly. Yeah. But it makes sense. So Speaking about relationships, yeah. I was on Twitter the other day. Well, actually, no, Twitter. I was on Instagram literally earlier on today, and seeing that this is supposed to be a sports podcast. To be honest, you know what? I'm actually thinking maybe change the name, because a lot of people think this is a sports podcast.
I told you that.
We be talking about whatever the hell we want to talk about.
I said change the name, and because we need, even because when we share it on fucking from Spotify, and I'm sharing it directly from Spotify to my Instagram, the logo is still at the back. It's still a sport logo. Yeah. So I need to. I'm definitely gonna change the logo, but then I'm like, now we need to also change the logo in the anchor and change the name. Well, we don't need to think about the name.
Anyways, but yeah. Okay, so okay. All right, cool. So now this should record.
Adam, I'm telling you, the club your man supports tells you more about them than you think. If your man supports Tottenham, you don't have good taste in women. Know your worth, sis. Do better. Alright, if your man is a Liverpool supporter, he loves you. This guy's a passion merchant. That's what they specialize in, right? So he talks about you all the time. Man, them could be talking about the most random things all the time. It's like, yeah, you know my girl, yeah, blah, blah, blah. That's him. God. Liverpool supporters there. If your man is an Arsenal supporter, I'm so sorry for your relationship. Like, your relationship could be going through shit, and he don't care. Why? Because he's done that with Arsenal. He stays loyal regardless. He may not even be putting in the energy. He may have given up, but he will stick by you. If that's what you're into, then these man there type to say I only like light-skinned girls. Yeah? Chelsea, man. This ain't Chelsea FC.
This is Chelsea FC.
This is colorism FC. He's not serious. He's probably gonna cheat on you. I'm gonna be so wrong.
That's Man City.
Cut him off. If your man supports Man United, just give him that gawk action, bro. Let's get to it. You get me?
You know what? My name is Deji, and I support that message. Also, shout out to United.
Don't you support Man City?
United, fam. Shout out to the boys.
Nah.
What do you think about that?
Nah, it's pretty, like, more and more I'm becoming a Liverpool fan, because in most conversations now, I feel like I insert my girl because I spent so much time with her in it. So I was like, So I spent so much time talking to her. I'm like, oh yeah, my girl was saying, oh, this happened to my girl. I was like, oh yeah, I was actually out with my girl, because that's all I do now. So when he said that, I'm like, in every conversation, even on the podcast, I would listen back, and I'm just like, fuck. I just mention her in nearly every single topic I'm talking about. Now there's a way to bring her into it, but I like those kind of things, because the Arsenal fan one, man. It's just you're just in a relationship for the sake of it. No benefits, no sex, no dates. You just want to say you have a girlfriend. Imagine actually being in a relationship like that, though. That both people know that it's over, and you're just going through the motions because nobody wants to pull the trigger. Have you ever had that? Have you ever had a situation where you didn't want to pull the trigger?
Yeah.
Who pulled the trigger at the end?
I ended up pulling the trigger one time. There was another time. She pulled the trigger.
Why did you pull the trigger? Don't tell me she gained weight or something.
So, no.
And is that a valuable reason?
Yes,
she gained weight.
Yes, it 100% is.
Fair enough.
Bro, I am a avid subscriber to, if there's something you don't like there's nothing too small to pull the trigger on.
Fair enough.
Because people are going to try and make you seem like, oh, you're superficial for this and superficial for that. But if looks is one, like, look, if there's one thing in this life, I love pretty women, bro, and I can't be with a woman that's not pretty. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's a big thing for me. Like, I need to look at you and be like, rah, you're mad pretty in the face. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So either way, yeah, sure, like, you can break up with anything. So anyways, I was in a weird phase of my life right now. I'm growing into myself, becoming a man, having money and shit like that. Me and my girl at the time, we go cinema, and we watched this movie. I can't remember what the movie was. It was something about like this girl just going through being single and like going through her whole phase and all this kind of shit. And as we left the cinema and we were walking, I was kind of like, I think that movie touched me still. Like, I feel like I didn't get to do that, and I feel like I'm gonna miss it if I don't. And we got home that day and man cut things off.
That's fair enough, to be fair, because I remember there was, when I started working at Pfizer, and there was a girl there. She was maybe 25, 26 at the time. maybe even younger, maybe 24. But she was in a relationship with her fella. She was 17, and she was listening to podcasts like girls would fuck or guys we fucked, horrible decisions, all these podcasts, and they're telling her like your whole face, blah 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 blah, and I could see the conflict like in her to be like, I'm 24, I've done this for already 4 years. She's still with the boyfriend now. She didn't pull the trigger in the end, but she's like, I'm gonna miss out on this window of being the hoe. Like, I could see it, but she never pulled the trigger. So I guess she like being in a relationship, and she never even talked to him about this, like the boyfriend. I was like, look, unless you're gonna pull the trigger, there's no point to bringing it up because it's just going to create a doubt. No, before you bring it up, know what you want to do first.
As soon as you bring it up, just know that trigger is pulled.
Exactly. Like before you pull it up, know what you want to do. Because she said she kind of mentioned it in a conversation where she was like, with her fella, she's like, have you ever thought about like missing out? You're going to not be... And then the guy was like defensive, and then he spent time like buying her flowers because the trigger was essentially pulled. He's like, he bought her flowers, took her out, but she was still struggling with it. And I understand, you're 23, 24, 25, whatever. You're in a relationship 6-7 years. Your 30s are in 5 years. You've started your career now. Like you started. Now you're thinking, is this it? Am I relationship? Am I never gonna have a new dick or what?
Like this is
it? And I was like, it's perfectly healthy because I was like, even glad that you know that okay, even women go through this because like you're saying, some people be like, oh, the angel, not my woman. My woman would go through this.
That's what we've been taught from young. That's what everything in society tells you, that women can't move like that. Women don't move like that. But honestly, and I hope it works out for her, but her life is gonna end up like sex life.
Maybe because she was suppressed so long, like, and eventually it's gonna come back to the surface because she never got to live that life.
It's gonna come out. Do you get what I'm saying? That's how she's gonna start wanting. Like the thing is, if you genuinely want to do something, right? Think about all the times in your life that you have wanted to do something, and you might not have been able to do it in the moment. You still did it eventually. Like okay, like let's say you're a kid and you wanted games, you couldn't afford games, your parents won't buy you games. When you have that money, bro, you're gonna have 100 games.
Yeah,
just because you can.
That's
do you get what I'm
true.
saying? And it's not going to be
how
one
people
of those
live because they're also like suppressed at home and they go out and they live that life eventually because they needed to live that life. Because there was a guy as well at work, they're part of the grad program. I know the guys from Barbergan. So she was really into him when they started the grad program and they were flirty, and she was like, I never told him I had a boyfriend because like he was giving me the attention I wanted, so she never said anything to him, and she never felt the need to because she was tempted. And now I was like, look, don't do it, but I'm like, don't do anything on your boyfriend. But if you bring this up to him that you're having these urges and these fantasies, just know, either be ready to be like, I'm gonna go do it through it, but give up your relationship because what's worth it for you.
Okay, but this is the thing. If you have those feelings, right? And these are things that I've thought about that have haunted me for years. Do you get what I'm saying? Like if you have those feelings, I honestly think that your relationship is almost inevitably just doomed.
Well, you don't think that you could suppress those feelings or overcome?
No, you can suppress those feelings.
Overcome those feelings. That's a better word. Can you not overcome them and be like, I felt that way, I'm okay now?
The thing is, I feel like you can feel that way and look, you know what, maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Bro, once my curiosity is triggered, I can't let it go.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And the thing about it though is that I'm not saying that you're gonna break up. You can be with each other for the rest of your life, but you just might not feel. You might look back when you're 80 and you're like, I actually wish I did more. And honestly, I'm not trying to do that. And
that's like sometimes where I tell maybe young people, very young people, like when you're in that relationship, like I'm telling you in the group chat, maybe not to be in a relationship, I'm telling them, yo, experience as many as things, not just in terms of women, just in terms of life. Like, don't look at me and be like, oh, look what Jordan is doing. I'm good doing this. I went to Asia, I did road trip.
I've done my,
I've done drugs, I've been a hoe. Like, I'm good at this stage of life because I've tickled my curiosity. Would I go to Asia again? Yes, but I don't have like the urge to like, would I go to America again? Of course I would, but I don't have the urge. Like, to be a hoe, fair. I've done all of that. To do, would I pop Molly again? Yeah, I would. But do I have the urge? Not even a little bit. So I'm good. I tell people, experience. I'm not saying do drugs. I'm not saying be a hoe. But whatever you feel the need to experience now, do it, because you'll get to. Don't look at Uncle Jordan is 27. He's doing this. He's getting married. Uncle Jordan is happy doing this. Yeah, bro, he's good at this stage of my life.
You know the worst part about it, right? The worst part about it is that, like, let's say that girl, right? That she's in the relationship and everything and the whole phase and all of that, right? What could easily happen is that whole phase that she's itching for could be a week.
Yeah. That's what I was telling her. I'm like, yo, you might do this.
Day.
You might do this and realize, right, this isn't for me.
Fam, because you know
gave
what
up
it
your
is?
whole relationship.
People that were in relationships for time, they think the streets is the same. They think the next man is going to treat her like her man is treating her. Bro, the streets are wild.
Everybody tells me that. Everybody's like, this. Like, I think was saying this. Like, I haven't heard about the streets being enticing since I was like maybe 21, 20. Like the streets. But yeah, I
think that's because you've changed.
That's also
like,
true. There's it doesn't like. My circle is also lit. Everybody knows really like my circle is calm, settled.
When I went to my boys what's called kids party.
Kids party.
Bro, I was there early. This one and his girl walked in. This one and his girl walked in. This one walked in with his kid. This one walked in with his 2 kids.
You're kind of like
who here is about to say that the streets are enticing? Bro, everyone here is wiped off.
That's actually very true.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense for you to be coming and say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to the street." Bro, you have 2 kids and you're married. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
The thing is, she actually brought up, because this was like my first 2 years of working at Pfizer. These thoughts were like prominent, and obviously maybe because we're like going out more nights out, and you know, Oimbo girls get drunk, start talking about it. Obviously with COVID, we haven't. So
also, she should just cheat, by the way.
What?
Yeah, she should just cheat. If he's never gonna find out, she's just cheat. Look,
do you know she said she thought about it? She said she thought about it.
On a serious note. Okay, this is the reason why I said she
said she would have done it, but she just doesn't think that she could live with the guilt. She said she could do it and he wouldn't find out, but it'd just be a thing of her not living with the guilt.
But look, because this is the thing here, right? People need to understand that just because the reason why you need to go through the phase is not because it's like a rite of passage or anything. You just need to find out what you like and what you don't like. Do you get what I'm saying? So like, I have people that I know that is like, okay, there's one particular girl, right? One of my friends that we've grown up around each other and shit, right? And she's proper innocent. Like, she's an innocent girl, like godly, like lives at home. Parents are like telling her to do stuff like traditional Nigerian kind of a thing, like, you know, make food, this and that, take care of your brothers, this and all that kind of shit. Do you get what I'm saying? And I was talking to her, I was sitting in the car with her, and I was like, "Rod, do you never just want to, you know, just whatever?" And she's like, "You know what, Deji, I actually don't." Right? Because the thing is, she's like, I tried those things. For the little bit that I tried it, like, she's like, oh, like, I even one time I was like, we went to London, I was feeling a bit frisky, you know, wore a dress that, you know, showed a bit, you know, wore a bit less, went out a bit more, and she was like, I didn't feel comfortable. But the thing is, if she hadn't done that,
exactly,
she would probably still want to be like, I need to do it.
Exactly.
I need to do it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is.
And that's then back to the point. That's what I'm telling people. Experience things, not women. I'm not even talking about women. Just for yourself, so that when it comes to a stage where capitalism starts winning.
No, I've got a message for women out there because a lot of women have been pissing me off recently. Now, you know what it is, right?
Drop the message.
So, you young women, especially.
What age group are we talking?
I want to say
below 25.
Nah, yeah, you know what? Between that 23 to 27-year-old, if you are not in a relationship, and I understand that you might not want to be with multiple men and having sex with bare people and stuff like that, however, even if you're having sex with one person, still make sure you're out there, you're flirting, you're going on dates, and you're doing everything else. Because
why did they commit so easy, man?
Bro, they're committed to somebody that's not committed to them.
They just be like,
I was literally
I'm seeing him going on a few dates. We went on 2 dates. I'm not really going to see anyone else. I was like, really?
Bro, even apart from that, like they
so
know
funny.
They know that this person that they're talking to is purely physical, nothing else, right? But they won't do anything else. And I'm like, you need to go on dates. Like, I understand, cool. Have him there, and that's your, you know, dick on reserve. However, make sure that you're going and doing all of these things, because it's kind of like you're letting all of these people in life pass you by. But
it's like, not to cut you off, but it's going back to the point that you were making of the way the girl was dressing. She wasn't comfortable with it. It's the same way that they know this guy is purely physical, but to be with this guy physically and to go on other dates, they're not comfortable with it.
In that case,
do you know what I mean? Yeah, but some people, they're just built that way.
Okay, but this is the thing though. When you do that, right? When you do that, you're setting yourself up for heartbreak.
Of course, because
that path leads. There's only 2 ways that ends. You either end up in a relationship or it ends.
Of course, there's a girl I know, and she was like, through COVID, she found someone dating. The people that secured the thing through COVID, yeah, mwah, chef's kiss, because all you could do is come to the gaff. Everything was closed. Everything was closed. So
take away,
she saw something on his phone. She saw something on his phone she didn't like. After 8 months of seeing each other, then cuff her. Called her out. Man told her, like, look, I'm not seeing anybody except for you. You're not my girlfriend. I'm not gonna see anybody except for you. But this is what we're gonna be. Straight out. And I respect it. Do you know what happened? She kept seeing him. And I'm like, oh, you should see other people. And she's like, I'm just not comfortable. And I'm like, oh, so he told you what it is. He told you who he is to you. He told you who you are to him. And you've seen shit on his phone that you don't like, but you're still gonna continue and just seeing him. Don't cry then. And it's those guys, yeah. That's what I was gonna say. It's those guys that were, because I saw the messages. I'm like, oh, he was brutal but honest.
Oh, he was clear.
Yeah, he was
clear cut with you. He told you what this is.
And the situation will end. He was like, he was fucking dick. And I'm like, was he though? You stayed.
Yeah, but look, that's my thing. Like, even with you not being comfortable with it, search in yourself and ask yourself, is it that you're not comfortable with it, or is it that's what you've been conditioned to believe, that you can't do that? Because it's kind of like, I see too many pretty girls just not living life because they're having sex with one guy.
Because girls, like, I think Joe was actually, shout out Joe, he was saying it to me, it's even wild that one of the first toys we get young women is dogs. Do you think that kind of conditioning is we're telling them from young age?
Whoever built the system had to hustle to you.
From young age, we'll give them dolls to nurture. So we're like, oh, so they grew up their life trying to be like, if I find a man, maybe I'll be that mother to this man, and that structure of like what. So that conditioning, sometimes some conditions are too hard to overcome.
Also,
there's certain people ourselves, there's certain level of conditioning that are too hard to overcome.
You girls, yeah. I'm telling you this now. Just because he's a project doesn't mean that you have to work on it.
The only project you work on is Mbappe. I'm telling
you, like, bro, do you know, like, not to give away all the trade secrets, but niggas are out here doing a bit, you know, whatever, and then the girls see them as one lost puppy dog and want to fix them, and then now 6 months later, oh my god, he's so trash, he doesn't appreciate me. Yeah, because he didn't want you for that.
The thing is, once a guy's lying, okay, call him trash. Once the guy's being honest with his intentions, and then you're not okay with it, he's not trash.
Yeah.
Because once the honesty was, if I told you this is who I am, this is what I want, and this is the situation, you cannot look back and say, okay, he was trash for this the way I didn't like him to behave. Yeah, no, he behaved how he felt comfortable with. You weren't comfortable with it. He's not trash for that. He was honest about it with you.
Look, man, I'm actually, like, I just don't get it. But like, look, all of this dating stuff and everything is all, it's mad and it's weird. But like I said, like, that situation that you're in, that you're not completely happy in right now, obviously not you, like, you man that are listening or whatever, it doesn't have to be like that. Your relationship, the relationship that you're in now isn't a paintbrush for every relationship going forward. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, that's why you date around. You don't date, like, and if, you know what it is as well. These are the buff girls that won't go out because they're sleeping with one guy, and now that plans with that guy flopped. So now they're still out. Bro, you're a buff girl on a Friday night. Bro, if you don't have a rotation of people, like, even the guy that's asking you to come out and you're just like, oh, like, I don't really like him. He's cool, but like, I don't like him. Go, man.
Because
like,
sometimes the guy that you want, he'll realize he wants you. I don't know, it's fucked up, but once he sees you on that date, he'll be like, wait, pause this whole thing right now. Pause this whole thing right now.
When he sees that name pop up on your phone, you know there's certain man that their name ring off in it.
You just see, leave your phone up. Leave your phone up. Imagine if it's one of his
wife next week. What? You're my girlfriend now. That's it.
So who's texting you? Delete that. You're my girlfriend. Why is he even texting you?
You know what?
If girls knew that, they had this power, you know.
Bro,
if they just lock off. Just text it. Just not even go on the day. Just let him see you're texting someone. Like one timeline boy. Just text one timeline boy.
Even forget that one text, bro. Show him the DMs that you're ignoring. Show him the DMs that you're ignoring. See if it doesn't act right.
So you have. Imagine you're a girl and you try this and the guy's like, yeah.
What? Then look, that's cool. Because if he's doing now, you were never gonna get him.
That's true. That's true.
Like, let's cut your losses quick.
That's how we think, bro. They'll be like, he'll come around.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, there has been girls in my life, bro. There's been girls in my life where everybody and their cousin thought I was gonna get with, and there's gonna be my girl and everything.
Yeah.
And bro, if I don't like you like that, bro, you can cook for me every you want. My mom can love you, bro. My nephew, my niece can love you. Everybody can love you. It doesn't mean that I will love you.
Have you ever done the most for a girl and she didn't like you back?
Yeah, everyone. I feel like everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, are you a real nigga?
Oh man.
But yeah, man.
But I think you have somewhere to go and you have to go back. And what's that? Good hour? We give them a good hour.
10, bro.
Yeah, we give them a good hour 10
as well. We be giving them long ass episodes.
Yeah. I thought it go to at least hour and a half.
Bro, the last two was hour 45. Hour 50.
We gotta get good on the mic. You know, we're saying people are not listening, yeah. So by the time they come, we'll be so seasoned. They'll be like, oh, because they'll miss all the episodes that were like struggling. And by the time they meet us,
let's delete those Zoom episodes, bro.
yeah. But by the time they meet us, we'll be fired. Anyways, the Talibans are back and True at the Back is back. If you've made it to the end of the pod, you've been blessed with the highest level of analysis. Let's go.